Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to episode 41 of the Locker Room Life podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Frank, as usual, with my brothers, my boys, Logan Kuvo, Owen Baker. What a time of year. Just amazing things happening for the boys on all levels, but also just in hockey as a whole. Exciting times, playoff times. This is where it all matters, boys. Who wants to kick it off?
It's the scholastic hockey time of the year, as Frank put it. I put the scholastic name on it. It's NCAA tournament right now. It's the prime of every U.S. hockey fan. I will say that there are probably some Canadian fans enjoying it, especially now. But it's a really, really awesome time. And no, there's some really, really cool things also happening for the Locker Room Life podcast. You'll see a lot of cool announcements here in the next few weeks. You will see, we promise. And life is good, boys. I mean, I'm just prepping for graduation. It's pretty crazy. I had a lot of work this week, but I parlayed that work, what I was talking about before, with the greatest show ever, Entourage. And I rewatched it. Bakes rewatches it every year. I rewatch it every year. It is just one of my favorite shows in the world. And I know we were all reminiscing and talking about all of our favorite stuff before this, but life is good, boys. I can never complain.
Man, Entourage, what a show. I will be rewatching soon, but fellas, it's just good to be back. Like you guys said, so much going on in the hockey world. We're getting around that time where it's playoff hockey, and it's the best time of year. It's the most fun hockey to watch. And, I've really just taken the role lately as a NARP, as some would say, a non-athlete regular person. They took the ice out, so I'm in the books, boys. I'm getting smarter. I'm trying to finish school and been in the gym, just trying to stay busy. And like you said, there's so much happening, and everyone that's listening, stay tuned because we got a lot planned.
Bakes just comes back to the land of the living with normal people. He's like, what's this? It's an eye-opening experience on all levels.
What a life.
Dude, I can't believe Logan's almost done with school, Locker Room Life family. This guy's been talking about everything college forever, and now it's finally going to be over. Real life is ahead. It's just he's scared. He's a little scared right now, but it's okay. Amazing things ahead. Yeah, boys, seriously, this weekend was nice just being able to be home. Past couple weekends for us have been pretty crazy. All good, but nice little recharge weekend. And really, we're talking about just our schedule for the next couple months. It's going to get really exciting, really heavy, more travel ahead, a part of a really amazing events. So all good things, super blessed, super fortunate for everything that's gone on thus far. But as we say, very fortunate about a lot of the amazing things that are on tap. So just good to be home, resting, relaxing, being able to kind of, in my senses, get back to the normal day rhythm of everything, right? Like went to see one of my good friends' kids' soccer game, just being able to acclimate. Got a little nappy in today. So, I need my little 20, 30-minute naps, little recharge session. But hooked to college hockey, been able to watch everything that's been going on. We'll kind of dive a little bit deeper into it, but there's been some upsets, so it's going to be nice to see some disparity in regards to who we chose versus
I don't think I got a single one right for the last episode that went out last week. I don't think I even got a single game right, but it's just sometimes the way it goes, boys.
Yeah, we stood on merit on a lot of these picks, and I'm not going to lie, a lot of it was because of personal relationships and other things that really guided us, but at the end of the day, sometimes things just kind of come through. So, especially for these blue blood programs, unbeatable. So, yeah, let's dive into it.
The best time of the year. We've all been enjoying the round of 16 of watching these amazing, amazing college athletes go after it. And boys, as we said, there were some crazy games. And I don't know if I want to remember my picks from last episode because, like I said, I got all of them wrong. But Final Four is locked. Michigan, Denver, Wisconsin, North Dakota, the definition of blue blood programs, all in the Final Four. It's just the big dogs, man. They know how to win in those moments. They've been there winning these games for many, many years now as a program, as a culture. So it's kind of interesting to the Michigan State and different, guys who are just coming up in Penn State, being that top dog these few years. So getting used to getting those high pressure wins. And, it's just instilled in these four teams. So this is going to be a nuts Frozen Four in Vegas. It's going to be rowdy.
These blue blood programs, you look at it, there's 2 NCHC teams left, 2 Big Ten teams. Probably the shock of the tournament for me is Wisco coming out of that region. But the matchup, Wisco, Nodak versus, I think the other one is going to be Michigan and Denver. So it's going to be cinematic, boys. Like you said, in Vegas, crazy host site. And I'm just excited to look for some good hockey. I can't say who's necessarily going to win, especially based off our predictions previously, but it's going to be good, fellas. I'm excited.
The amazing thing about college hockey, and I think sports in general, is like you like to see programs that are the Cinderella stories in the tournament, but it's also nice to see those power programs that are just because of their reputation. And sometimes you're like, oh no, they're kind of overrated. But this is a year where you're like, nope, we've established the fact that there's a reason why people call us the best of the best every year and why there's so much prestige around these programs. And you can't get any better than these four that are in it right now. The pedigree, the heritage, the history. So I'm excited. It's tough to see, as we were all kind of very unfortunate for a lot of guys, a lot of our family that are kind of started their summer breaks. But what I really love is just seeing a lot of these next decisions, right? A lot of these decisions that everybody was wondering through the course of the season, all of these predictions and all of these media was always speculating on what he was going to do and what he's going to do. Is he coming back? So a lot of that is being unpeeled and unraveled right now in regards to people's decisions. Obviously, we one off the top of my head, Porter Martone leaving the Spartans to join the Flyers, but it's across the board, right? Especially with guys that were even out at Bakes knows this. A lot of Michigan Tech guys, once the playoff wasn't an option, a lot of these guys made decisions for their future. So it's an ever changing landscape. It's always fun to be in this moment, and it's always fun to have it with the teams that should be in it, just in regards to like the history of college hockey. So good to see.
Those aren't leaving. Who are you picking? Who are you picking? Tell me. I'm not letting you off the hook. I can't. Let me know. Bake.
Man, you're putting me on the spot here, but if I look at everyone in it, there's still a couple LRL family members left chasing that NCAA championship, but we just had Jay Swish on, our boy, and you know what? I'm riding with Nodak. Two of my former coaching staff members from junior are on that team. I have a lot of buddies from that team, and guys, they've looked the most dominant thus far. So they're scary, and we'll have to see.
You, Frankie?
Boys, I'm running Go Blue right now. I think that Michigan's had some kind of not so much up and down years, but I think because of the reputation they live under a microscope, I do feel like this is this class that is going to make it full circle. And really what the Naranjo's been building these past couple of years is really kind of come into fruition. He's got the right pieces up and down the lineup. You not only have the star power, but I feel like there's just the team chemistry and unity. They're getting great contributions from a lot of freshmen. I know Aiden Park is a guy that's close to us because he's a California guy. But I don't know. There's something special about this Michigan team this year. Obviously, Schiff's LRL family, but he said it too when he was on. There's something special with this year's team, and especially for a guy like that, it'd be good to see him get one. But they deserve it. They've had a great season all the way through. There was no, Michigan's always the past couple of years have been kind of up and down, and then they get the favorable treatment. They're the Wolverines, but this year I think they've earned it, and I think they really have something special brewing. So I'm going with them.
For everything you just said, I got the Fighting Hawks. Go green.
Fellas, a little bit of some sad news in this all scholastic episode of the Locker Room Life, but we just heard recent news that Mercyhurst Division I program has folded. What's sad for me is the way it kind of went down. We know some guys who play there right now, and they kind of found out just 30 minutes before their own head coach did. So it's sad, and now all these players have just gone into the portal, and they're going to look for homes. But let's face it, guys, in reality and how the landscape is these days, not everyone's going to be able to find another spot at the Division I level, and even those commits that they had prior to this season are now without a home. And I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about their head coach, Rick Godkin. He's the only NCAA coach to ever take a program at all three levels to an NCAA tournament. He's been there for over 611 wins, multiple tournament appearances, a guy who put his entire life into this program, and for it to all end as the way it did, it's horrible.
Of course, I have a couple of friends who are on the team, and it's just terrible. I was talking about it with Frankie, and that's exactly what we said, Bakes, is, the portal's been open for a little bit now, and these guys are now jumping into here and trying to find a spot late to the jump, later than everyone else when they think that they're going to be, ponying back up and going to the same school next year. But it bodes a question of what's going to keep happening to college sports, especially college hockey, as it keeps inflating and keeps sucking in these high talent guys because they have more cash flow. And then there's just teams that can't perform. And then the school thinks that they're not doing good because they don't even have an ounce of understanding of what is going on in that room. And for those players, they just see the record and they see those things. And then they're just like, oh, and I just give the utmost admiration for Coach Gotkin. It's really upsetting, honestly, for the parents, for everyone involved, anyone who's ever played there or given something to that program. Prayers are up for you guys. And there's a petition out actually as well. And we'll make sure that we attach it to anything that we put up too.
There's two sides to this story, right, guys? On the player side, obviously everything we know, LRF family, John Lazarus, Mercyhurst, he was the first one to really start kind of commenting. And I actually texted him after. I'm like, buddy, like you were the first guy that we thought of because of the fact of it's a known story. And he was even on the post that was put out, he was actually the face of that. We all went through it. We've all gone through it. The journey, the story, the dreams that we all have. Like Owen, obviously, is a Division I hockey player right now. The ultimate success, and I'll speak for myself as well. And I've told you guys this multiple times. I didn't give a crap about pros because I'm a realist in life. But college hockey to me was a dream, and the ultimate dream for hockey, for my hockey success, was something that I wanted to achieve throughout the course of my career. And I put myself in the position of players to feel that. You feel like you've achieved so much in your life and you've achieved a dream and a goal. And for the politics of different developing situations that are happening behind the scenes, for it to be dictated that way is gutless. And it's sad. It is, but it's very sad in the fact of the outcome, but it's also foretelling about the future of sports going forward, right, guys? Sports is a business. Schools are a business. They're always going to be developing and making decisions that are the best for their programs and for the best revenue for their programs the programs that will be bringing the most revenue to their schools. Like, they're a business just as much as any other business that's operating right now. We've talked about it multiple times. The infusion of VCs and other outside companies that are taking stake in these investments of college sports. But on the human level and the hockey player level and the amazing community we live in, it's very sad. And I don't know. To say that I would know how that feels, I wouldn't, because there's so many emotions that I would have about it. And I know Logan was talking about, the players that we knew that were on the team. You think about their parents. You think about just what they think, like, how, and they found out, correct me if I'm wrong, Logan, they found out via social media, which is another pathetic gutless way of
through social media. And they weren't even, the kids didn't even get to tell them.
But guys, that's the norm, right? Guys are finding out crucial news to their futures on social media first, which is pathetic. We need to change this. Like, and if we're only one platform, I don't care. Like, we're here to tell our stories, and other people's stories, but also stand up for things that are just wrong. And this is wrong. Like, it just is. So the petition, we're going to have it out. We'll probably do something else to tell you guys about it because we feel for these guys. But more importantly, we have to take a stand in regards to this happening going forward. Will it matter? Will it not? I don't care. But at least we're taking a stand and doing something about it. And I feel like it's our obligation and it's our mission to do it. So
well said, Frankie.
Boys, all Scholastic episode, LRL, continuing on. There's actually a really amazing fact that I wanted to talk to you guys about. As of about 3 days ago, college scholarships, Canada has signed 216 college scholarships, and US is at 179. It's insane to me, but not surprising. And if we've been following this story, we've been fortunate to have Sean Hogan from College Hockey Econ. He predicted it and he said it, and his prediction is coming to fruition. The biggest beneficiaries of this new NIL ruling was going to be the Canadians. It's like the perfect storm, right, guys? Of awareness is one. Kids in Canada knowing that playing college hockey is an amazing opportunity for them, but also it's not a pick one or die option. They know that it's something that they can try, and really, if they do not like it, they can come back if if they don't want to play college hockey anymore. If they feel like they want to just continue their pro trajectory path and kind of come back, they can. So it's really foretelling of the future because it's going to continuously keep happening. More Canadian kids are now knowing, especially in a social media age, about these electric college hockey atmospheres and being able to really see what college hockey can offer them. And guys, come in on this one.
Before I go into I saw a meme that is very relevant to this topic, and it was just a serious post that was Gavin McKenna is done for the season, and Medicine Hat Tigers have 30 more games left. And the first comment on the post was, well, technically, he could go back to Medicine Hat and finish the season and come back to Penn State the next year. Think about how crazy that is. Think about how out of this world that sounds. It's the truth because it could happen now. And Sean was right. And the other thing that I'm going to say is that it's going to get nasty between these US leagues and these Canadian leagues. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. It's going to get nasty. It's going to be war even more than it's been over the past however many years, Frankie. 50, 60 years now at this point. So it's crazy. It's the biggest shift in that 60-year time frame ever. And it just shakes up the whole hornet's nest, and everyone is on guard. No one could have ever imagined that this was going to happen to the sport of hockey if you've been ingrained in it for as long as we have. So I think that it's just going to keep happening for the Canadians, and also because of what we talked about before, the hot factor. We haven't been able to get our hands on these guys. We want to get our hands on these guys. And it's just the little FOMO that goes through some of these teams and programs' heads. So the Wild West.
Every player's path is different, but at the end of the day, college hockey is, as we talk about, it's going to continue to be the best that it's ever been. And with these pool of players, these schools at this point, doesn't really matter where you play, but they're just looking for the best recruits possible for their program. And yeah, did we see this coming? 100%. The fact that it's still pretty even keel as far as numbers wise is a little interesting, but the possibilities are endless in what this could go into. But that's just super interesting, and I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers continue to change.
Yeah, because it's interesting, like metric trends, right? I'd like to see, which I will pull analytically next episode so we can follow it. But just the jump in scholarships versus, you could run a month over month or a year over year. And I'm sure where we're at right now is probably at least 2 times more than we were this time of year last year, or even before that. So incremental growth, but it's a landscape we're living in. No spot is safe.
We need more teams. We don't need to be taking away teams. We need more teams.
Yeah. But as we keep talking about, it's a business, guys. This is just a more foretelling sign of another business move by the hockey world. This is the business world. No spot is safe. It doesn't matter. You could be playing Division 1 and the next summer, the next season, things can flip. Owen knows that. We all know that. Everybody and people that we know have been part of it as well. It's an ever-changing landscape. It's going to continuously change. So it's definitely worth talking about. We're definitely going to keep our finger on the pulse on this because, again, if we're trying to really build some great information and analysis for the next generation for those key decisions to be made, it's really nice to at least have a stepping stone to know what's really going on out there. So something to watch. Boys, we got a treat of an interview this week. Ian Engel, Final Four, North Dakota. We got him on. Tells us his amazing story. This is one of those stories that we want you to pay attention to because this is the grind, the journey, everything we talk about and everything that we built this platform on. Ian is an example of that. Fought through the null, thought through a lot of key decisions, and thought through a path that he thought was really going to be his future, but was fortunate to grab an amazing opportunity being at North Dakota now. And I can't say enough. And I need you guys to listen to this one because this just tells you adversity is part of the journey.
Absolutely. Ian, defenseman for North Dakota, head to the Final Four in Vegas. It's awesome. I had the chance to play with Ian when I was young in WSI, so it's always nice catching up with an old friend. And his story is crazy. It just shows that, if you're good, they will find you. And he's now at the top 4 college in, the country. So it's really, really cool. And it was a blast to have him on. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one.
it's such a unique story in the fact that he stuck to the process and he saw the end goal. I mean, he played 18U, he grinded through the ranks of juniors. He was able to win a Robertson Cup, and now he's pursuing his dream in college hockey at one of the top programs. So it's an amazing story and an even better person.
Ian Engel, Nodak D-Man. Enjoy. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Locker Room Life podcast. Honored to have stud defenseman from the University of North Dakota, Ian Engel. Brother, thanks for joining us on this lovely winter day.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Well, brother, you have an amazing story. You have so much to talk about, but we wanted to start at the very beginning, man. Roll it all the way back. Where did the love for this wonderful game of hockey start?
It all started with my dad, quite honestly. He's an athlete growing up, mostly football, baseball, though. His family was never financially in the position to allow him to play hockey full time. Grew up playing out on the lakes in Wisconsin, suburbs of Milwaukee, basically is where he's from, but out in the country anyways. But he kind of learned the game from that. I was never able to actually play organized hockey, though. But he started my brother and I. My brother's 3 years older than I. Both of us started at pretty much the same age skating. Just went down to the local youth rink and started pushing around chairs, and just honestly just fell in love with it instantly. That's probably like one of my youngest memories of anything. Like, I don't really remember much from 5 and below as a kid, but I vividly remember like the exact rink we were at, the exact thing I was pushing. That's probably one of my clearest memories out of all my memories as a kid. So I think that just kind of speaks to how important that was for me as a kid. And like I said, my brother and I started together. I think that was the age of 3 or 4, and then started playing organized hockey not long after that, probably 5 years old. Just kind of stuck with it. I always played tons of other sports growing up, but sure, we'll get to it later. But hockey is just kind of the one that always stuck out.
I'm so glad you said that, brother. I mean, I've had the pleasure of watching you grow throughout your career, and it's been amazing. But for all of us, we remember that time that we fell in love with the game. I can remember vividly walking out of my room and telling my parents that I just had a dream about playing mini sticks. And I'm like, I want to play hockey. And that is, the thing that stands out to me. But growing up through your youth career, I know you said your brother, but you played for Green Bay in an amazing youth program, and has pushed out some amazing talent over the past few years. How was that like? What was it like for your development and just you as a person?
No, it was super important. Played under a pretty household name, I'd say, in Brian Rafalski. I'm sure a lot of you guys and a lot of listeners have heard of that name. So we had some elite talent on our team. A lot of guys handful of guys who play Division I, even more guys who play Division III who could be playing D1 if the whole rule changes and whatnot didn't happen. So definitely a lot of good players came out of that program. But yeah, it was, like you said, it was a phenomenal program growing up, and even better for me because it allowed me to play AAA at that high level and play against the best talent in the country. But I didn't have to move away 5-6 hours to go billet with another family. Like, I was able to still go to normal high school and middle school and just kind of live my life outside of hockey, but then also have probably the best, not probably, playing AAA is the best development for a kid in that 12 to 16 age range or whatever it is. So it was awesome.
Ian, we always talk about it on this podcast, our parents, our support system, right? That helped us along this journey, that really kind of shield us away from everything that's going on, that's out of life, and just really allow us to kind of chase a dream. Talk about those key figures in your life that kind of helped you along your way.
Huge props to my parents. My parents have given me every opportunity to be where I am. And I think back to even Logan before my Gamblers days. I played for Milwaukee Junior Admirals. This would have been when I was in 5th and 6th grade, I think, U11 and U12 or something like that. And we would practice in Milwaukee, obviously, and Milwaukee's like hour 50 from my house. And we'd be practicing on Mondays and Wednesdays. Dad would pick me up from school, whatever. We'd go home. Then we'd drive 2 hours, practice, get to the rink, practice for hour and a half, whatever, workouts after too, and then stop for dinner on the way home. And then I'd fall asleep in the first 10 minutes of the drive. And then my dad would power through the last hour 45 all by himself, get home at 11, 12 at night. And then he was a school teacher. So we'd get up together in the morning, go to school again, and do it all over again 2 days later. So it was obviously a grind in the moment, but those are some of my fondest memories with him. Obviously, just listening to music, messing around, just being dudes in the car. So yeah, and then also obviously my mom too. She's sacrificed a ton for me, bringing me to practices, tournaments, whatever it is. So much credit goes to them for where I am. And just if I were to have a bad game, I'm not happy with practices or whatever the case may be, they were always there, being an unreal support system for me. And same goes for my brother too. Those are mainly the big three for me. Made it very possible to be where I'm at today. So
it makes me emotional thinking about that. And I know it probably does the same thing for Frankie. Those long car rides with, seriously, like, especially with your dad driving 2 hours, and you know how much they sacrifice out of their day just for you to chase your dream, the little dream that you had as a kid. It's beautiful. All this and all that sacrifice they've given you, and you went into what we just said in the pre-interview, the Vietnam, as people call it, the grittiest league in junior hockey. You were a role player for the Bismarck Bobcats, a captain in your last year, winning a Robbie. You know, just talk about, you know, the transition and the jump from AAA into the NAHL, and then we'll dive into your whole career from there.
It was definitely an adjustment for me. Just playing against older guys was that much more difficult. Just moved away from home, far from home, you know, like 11 hours from home for me was pretty tough. Never been far away from my parents by any means. So it's definitely an adjustment, and just had a lot of growing up to do in junior hockey, which is probably the biggest thing that happens to most guys throughout their junior career. But like you kind of mentioned, very gritty league. It took a lot to learn the ropes of the league, but I would like to say I kind of figured it out there by the end as we won the cup last year.
I kind of want to touch on something that's glazed over a lot of times with just hockey players and the hockey journey as itself. Like you just touched on, leaving home, right? Going to live with strangers. Like Bill parents are, how amazing they are and how amazing they become. They are from the get-go. Like they're strangers that you're just getting used to going into their home, learning the dynamics of their home, learning the dynamics of their family, being part of their household. So I want you to talk about just for yourself, you know, leaving home and acclimating to junior hockey on that level, leaving home, just adjusting to life in junior hockey.
I mean, it was something like I've never experienced before. When you play youth hockey, it's practices, 2-3 times a week. And then obviously it's different because you play 4 or 5 games in a weekend in tournaments. But junior hockey is just the grind, practicing 5 days a week or 4 days a week, playing 2 days a week, and not light games on the body. So I think one of the biggest adjustments for me was just taking care of your body, being cognizant of what you're putting into your body, not only like food and drink, but obviously other stuff goes into that too. Learning how to kind of be a pro, even if you're not a pro, is something that was super important for my development, and putting in extra work too, depending on unless you're an unreal stud, like you're probably in your first couple of years or your first year, mostly you're not going to be seeing big minutes. Doing a lot of work behind the scenes too was something that led to a lot of my success, I'd like to think. It's kind of working in the darkness and just letting your play and your work be the light, kind of, is something that I always thought of. So I'd say, yeah, just learning how to treat yourself and getting yourself into a day-by-day ritual was super important for me, and just following and sticking to your routine.
Look at you being philosophical. I love that. I like that line a lot. That one's really, really good. But it's so true. And that was my downfall. I didn't take care of my body when I played. I would be literally, and I was pretty dust too, and I'm still pretty dust now, but I would be, 210 at the beginning of the season, and I just dropped down to 180 because I didn't eat well enough. I didn't take care of my body.
Mucking Chinese food.
Jesus, here we go. It's a hard adjustment for anyone moving away, and especially at that junior level. Like it's your job. Like that is all you do 24/7. So just obviously you were able to captain the Bismarck Bobcats. Talk about that and talk about, obviously it's a lot of work behind the scenes, like you said, to get that, whether it's on the ice, whether it's, in the locker room, what it meant to you and to bring home a big one that year.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but I mean, it really does mean everything to me. That was obviously, but that like Bismarck and that organization was my life for 3.5 years there. It really means everything to me, and just the people in Bismarck, obviously the hockey staff and the front office and whatnot, but then also just like the people in Bismarck. I worked as an instructional aide working with special needs kids.
That's awesome.
Afternoons during my time in Bismarck. It's just a part-time job. So built so many great relationships with students and faculty at the schools and whatnot. And seeing how big of a piece of myself and the rest of my teammates were in the community of Bismarck was so cool. Just to kind of be able to win the trophy for obviously ourselves, but also just the people in Bismarck was amazing to me. To the captaincy, it's it's awesome. It's truly an honor. But I'm not going to take all the credit. Like, we had 4 other really, really strong leaders on that team who did their share and captaining that team to the trophy last year. So yeah, super special group top to bottom last year in Bismarck, and some amazing memories there that'll last a lifetime.
Buddy, you had such a great junior career, and the best culmination to that is winning a championship, right? And this is for the younger generation as well. You had a journey, and I want you to talk about the importance of self-belief in yourself, belief in your confidence and belief in your abilities to know that you would be sitting in the seat you are right now. Because there's a lot of times through this hockey journey where it's hard, the adversity. Yeah. We go through it on all levels, on and off the ice. So kind of talk about your whole junior career in a nutshell, and kind of just the importance of always believing in yourself.
That's a deep question that hits pretty hard, just because, like you said, there's so many ups and downs, especially in that junior career. Just really a roller coaster, honestly. But yeah, so my rookie year, I know I was healthy scratched for, I think it was 13 games my rookie year in Bismarck. And when I did play, I was 7th defenseman, playing, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes a night, I'd say, like no special teams, whatever. So and there was a stretch there, and right in the heart of the season, like we were kind of talking about, when it's snowy and -30 out. And I don't think I played for 3 or 4 weekends in a row. And I vividly remember those days too. Those were just the dog days, skating on Mondays, getting on the line, and you're just, this is no fun. But yeah, I think just perseverance. It's not easy for sure, but I think just pushing through on the days when you don't want to show up, like those are the days you have to. Maybe you don't give your 100%, but showing up, giving your 95, whatever it is, whatever you have that day equals 100%. That's how you just get a little bit better each day. And I think that was another big thing, trying to get a little bit better each day, like I kind of mentioned. And then, yeah, first year, like I said, didn't play a ton. We missed the playoffs that year. Wasn't what we wanted out of our group, whatever. Still a great year, but we missed it. I think we missed out by like 1 point. It came down to the last game of the year, and we didn't make it in. And then, yeah, second year, I got an alternate captain, which was super cool. Yeah, just continue to build each year, just kind of got a little bit better, got a little bit more confidence, like you said, with the puck. That was something that when I came into juniors, I wasn't very confident in. My defensive abilities was something I kind of had to build from the ground up, learning how to defend before you can go and play offense.
Yep.
And then last year was kind of the pinnacle of it all, just putting everything together that I had learned over 2.5 years in Bismarck. And we had an unreal group that was able to just do it with me. So
I can say you were very offensive minded when we played together. You've always been a very good offensive defenseman.
I was, or I wasn't?
You were okay. Humming. You were humming. We just actually interviewed a Spinelli not too long ago, and he was on the same squad with all the boys. But I want to talk about your time at NODAC, man. The decision leading up to that. I mean, what an honor. Me and Frank were talking about your guys' facilities before, and oh my goodness, I can't wait to hear about them. But, talk about the decision, what led up to it, and we'll dive into your career there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to be brutally honest with you guys. It's all public knowledge, I would say. But I was originally committed to a Division III school in Wisconsin, Stevens Point. That was my spot. Didn't have many options on the Division I side. Decided to go Division III, really close to home. A couple of my good buddies play there. And then, yeah, one day got a call from Dane Jackson here at UND, offering me a spot, and I didn't even need to think about it for more than however long it takes to think about something, but not even a second. And I was all over that. So yeah, it was something that I would never turn down. It's been unbelievable so far. I'm so happy that I'm here.
Brother, I'm not going to let you off the hook on this one. That is such an amazing shift of just like mindset as well, right? You're kind of like, okay, I made my commitment. I feel comfortable with my commitment. And now out of the heavens and out of the skies, the University of North Dakota comes down. And like, kind of take us through, like, were you shocked? Were you like, what was the first like thought in your mind?
North Dakota number? Yeah. Who is calling me?
Like, take us through that, because that's really amazing thing, especially for hockey players as a whole. That amazing emotional moment for yourself. There's so much attached to that.
No, I mean, I'll get to that question, but I think just for like other listeners, I've said this before in a NAHL interview a while ago, whatever, but I've been in the exact shoes that I'm sure a lot of people are in juniors right now. Maybe you got in a text or a call here and there from some smaller Division I school, whatever, and nothing came about. And you're just kind of down in the dumps, and you're like, when is it like ever going to be my turn to get that phone call or make that commitment post? And like, that was just something that honestly, like, I dreamt of, like just being able to throw that up. It's just awesome. Even if you don't think that people are watching, just because they're not texting you or offering you whatever, like that doesn't mean nobody's watching you. So many times I've heard of teams will reach out or schools will reach out to guys just kind of inquiring, and then it'll be radio static for 3 months, and you'll be like, well, I guess they're not interested, whatever. And then out of nowhere, one day they'll just get a call and just offer them on the spot. When you think no one's watching, just know that they are. Like I said, even if they're not making it verbal, they're taking notes. There's always people watching. So I guess just make the most of every opportunity that you have. Run with it once you get the opportunity. Oh yeah, what was my reaction to the call? Yeah, well, so I kind of had a little bit of a heads up because they had called our GM in Bismarck, kind of like asking about me. So our GM had called me and told me that like it was a possibility. So I had a little bit of a heads up, but once the actual call came, then I was a little bit shocked, but overall just honestly so excited and so pumped to live out a childhood dream at a place as special as North Dakota. Just super grateful for the opportunity and was willing to give whatever I have for this program, and that's what I'm doing my best to do every day.
Who was your first call after you talked to coach?
Well, I was at home, so I would have been either my mom or dad. Everyone was at home, so I didn't have to call anyone. Well, actually, I know who it was. It was my buddy who goes to UW Stevens Point, the Division III school where I was going to be playing. If he's listening, I don't know. But shout out Gabe Randall if he's listening. I think he was probably the first guy who I called. And then a couple my other Bismarck teammates who I was really close with were the next couple of calls. But I think he was the first one because we were planning to live together and whatnot next year. So I had to... obviously super good news, but probably not the best for him.
He was probably over the moon, brother.
Yeah, dude. Now I want to ask about NODAC, the facilities, the best facilities in college hockey. What's a day in the life look like? How are you guys? You guys are just getting treated like royalty over there.
We get treated like kings, like you said. Monday through Thursdays are pretty similar. Every day we wake up, we get 3 meals at the rink every day, which is unbelievable. So yeah, we come in and we have breakfast at the rink, usually you can show up kind of whenever. We have our first meeting usually at 8:30, so you can kind of show up whatever your routine feels like, omelet bar, like eggs and all the vegetables and meats that you can throw in there, whatever it may be, and then yogurts and cereals and kind of like a hotel continental breakfast, I'd say. And then, we have our meeting in the morning. That's usually video, recapping the weekend or whatever it's going to be while we're working on in practice, stuff like that. Just generic video, I'd say. And then, so we have that for 20 minutes maybe. And then we head over to the weight room, and that's where we do like our off-ice warm-ups before practice. So we're doing all sorts of stuff. Prior to coming here, I always just, did like the classic, like quad pulls, high knees.
Little dino, get on them.
Yeah, karaoke and call it a day and get on the sheets. But yeah, here we're doing some pretty high level stuff. I'd say we're doing cable sprints or variations of like box jumps, belt squats, a lot more, almost like a mini workout to get us ready. And then yeah, we go out practice usually 9:30. And then depending on what time of the season it is, practice for an hour and a half, 2 hours maybe. Then we lunch at the rink post-practice. Afternoon is when guys have classes. So our window for classes is usually 12:30 to like 3:30. So go to class. It's usually 1 to 2 classes a day. And then some afternoons during the week we'll have yoga or like a cardio. And then we'll do dinner at the rink again. That's pretty much it. Post dinner is free time, but so easy to find yourself just staying at the rink till 7 p.m., putzing around and using all the amazing stuff that we have at our fingertips. And then also, yeah, I guess that's pretty much a day in the life. I'd say like Monday through Thursday is pretty consistent with that. So we're doing stuff all day from 7 to 5.
Walk in at dinner time, just hibachi grill, just going, dude, just chopping. That's what I imagine.
We got a volcano.
What we got one with? Just got some hibachi. The volcano, the onion volcano. Like, what the hell?
You got the hibachi chef like going around the line, like throwing you the leg.
He's putting his hat.
Oh my goodness, I'm gonna cry. That's so funny, Frank.
The whole time I was just like, these boys got the hibachi going. That's amazing. No, but the best thing about not only the fact of the state-of-the-art facilities, but, and you can attest to this, the team bonding aspect too, right? Because the boys are in there, you're in the lounge, you guys are like, watching games, you're together, you're rehabbing and kind of on the same program. But that's what I love about the cohesiveness of building these amazing facilities also, because they're built so that you use them, but it's also that time together and kind of together in one accomplishment of a goal together. So you guys have an amazing state-of-the-art facility, but it's that camaraderie together. Like everybody gets together, you're eating together, that bonding experience. So I love it. I know that that's something that college hockey has grown consecutively over the years as these programs grow as well. So yes, it's an investment for the schools, but I also think it's the team chemistry. And the one thing I wanted to also ask you is North Dakota is one of the storied programs in college hockey in history. There is around college hockey these past couple of years, there's been a really important culture change that's happened there because you guys are buzzing this year. And I want you to kind of talk about that culture change, the culture shift in, what's being preached in the room.
We always say pressure is a privilege, something that you just kind of almost earned. If you're playing at a smaller school, maybe you might not have this pressure that we sometimes can feel from fans or community or just whoever it may be. But we kind of take it as a privilege almost that people care. Just trying to get back to the roots of North Dakota hockey and what made this program the dynasty that it really is. 8 national championships. I believe that's second in college hockey. It's really a dynasty. It's just so much history. And I think just getting back to the roots of what made North Dakota hockey, blue collar, lunch pail guys who are willing to do anything and everything that it takes to win night in and night out. And that's really what we're trying to preach, is trying to get those type of guys, not necessarily always the best skillful players, but just the right guys and the right culture guys who fit what we want, is something that we really, I think the staff really takes pride in here, is making sure that we have the right guys to get the job done when it comes crunch time in March or April here down the stretch in playoffs.
Just the position that you've been in right now, it's amazing, man. And for the younger audience and anyone out there, what would you say to them to being overlooked at these points in your career? And now you're here at what you just said, 8 national championships, one of the best college programs in the world. What would you say to, those kids out there watching that want to be where Ian Engel is right now?
I think honestly, just use it as motivation. That's something that I really liked to do. Seeing these guys who I always thought I was right there with, playing at that next level. And then, like you said, kind of being overlooked at times. I felt it a bit at times, but then looking back on it now, I guess it's easy to say now, those were all preparing me and kind of battle testing me. It kind of helped me almost more to have to go through that adversity. Don't think I'd be where I am if I were to just kind of have it just all handed to you, quote unquote. So I think it definitely helped me, but just kind of be confident that you are where you need to be, and that don't be wishing your season away, wishing you were somewhere else. Just be where your feet are and believe and trust in that you're actually where you need to be, and things are all going to work out however they're supposed to work out in the end for you.
Well said, my friend. And before we lighten it up, I wanted to ask you, we always give our guests an opportunity. There's so many amazing people that helped us along this journey. This is your chance to call out all these notable people in your life that kind of helped you get where you are today.
Obviously, my parents and my brother, those are at the top of the list for me, for people who have always been there for me and helped me out. And then I'd say grandparents too. Obviously, they don't necessarily know all the X's and O's of hockey, but they've always been there at all my games, or a lot of my games, as many as they could, and listening to live streams. And same thing with aunts and uncles, and just always texting me post game. Like I said, not necessarily that they know exactly if I actually played good or not, but texting me, great game out there, heard your name a lot. You stayed out of the penalty box is the one I usually get a fair amount. And I'd be like, yeah, I guess I'll take it. So like, I'd say those people. And then I think Brian Rafalski was a big piece, molded me and kind of into the player I am, I think, a lot. And then also just the staff in Bismarck, Lane Sedeby, Hunter Laszlo, Garrett Roth, Alec Rawhauser, those 4 guys, those were all the coaches that I played under in Bismarck during my time there. I think they played a huge role too in the reason I am the person I am today. So
I thought you said Grandpa was texting you, need to gap up. Grandma's like, put your stick down.
No, my grandpa doesn't even have a smartphone, actually.
I love it.
Probably the best way to live, to be honest.
Yeah, you can't even text me.
Gramps knows what's up.
I remember how hell it was playing against you and Rafalski and that squad, Ken Finley, Beam, Hunter, all you guys. It was amazing. Yeah. And Rafalski is an amazing coach. But to that, we're going to loosen up. We're going to ask you some rapid fire questions. You give us a quick off the dome, your answers to them. But I'm going to start with, what's the best rink in college hockey outside of North Dakota, obviously?
That I've played at, or just that I've even seen in videos and whatnot?
I'd say played at.
Best atmosphere I've seen in college thus far. Duluth was actually pretty good. I thought I was pleasantly surprised by that. There wasn't one that stuck out for me that was blew my socks off. I mean, we're kind of spoiled at the Ralph. Everything just seems a bit smaller, but I'd say Duluth was good. Omaha and CC both put on a good show too. So I'd say those three were the best three that I've seen. But I've only been on a handful of road trips in college hockey, so not the most well-versed, but those three were pretty good for in-conference.
Nice. Superstitions, man. How you handling? Are you a don't touch me, don't talk to me type guy? Or are you keeping it loose and just letting her fly?
I'm pretty loose before the games, I'd say, especially playing sewer ball and stuff. I'm a sucker for sewer. That's my almost enjoy it more than the actual game itself. But I'm not superstitious until I start getting dressed in my hockey gear. Then I definitely lock it in a little bit, not a little bit, a lot bit more. But yeah, before the game, I like to keep it pretty loose. Otherwise, I find myself getting into my head too much and kind of working myself up too much. But superstitions, I don't really have too much. I like to pray before games, just kind of mellows me out, I think, a lot. No big superstitions that if I don't do it, I feel like I'm going to play garbage or whatever. So
Dream D partner.
Logan?
Oh my God.
And the crowd laughed.
Best answer we've had yet for that one.
I'd say probably Brock Faber, maybe. Just stud.
Yep. Good answer.
What do you got in your headphones pregame?
It kind of switches. It's changed a bit over the years. I used to love hard rock. That would always get me going. And then last year I switched to a lot more EDM and techno stuff, Avicii. And I listened to a lot of Avicii last year, and Fisher, and got guys like those were stuff that we listened to a ton in Bismarck last year.
My last one, cheat meal. What's your favorite cheat meal?
My favorite what? Oh, cheat meal? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I thought you said Gmail.
No. What's your favorite burner Gmail?
I was actually just talking about this today. One last meal, if I could have it, I'm going to Chick-fil-A.
Wow.
I love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, I'm going
he does love himself some Chick-fil-A.
Me and Cool, every time we're on the road together, we're always mucking.
We are mucking chicker.
I'm going spicy chicken sandwich with just the fries and then cookies and cream milkshake. Maybe if I'm feeling hungry too, some mac and cheese on the side.
Yeah. Holy, the big dog. The big dog's coming in. Watch out. Jeez.
Slime ball.
Well, brother, I can't thank you enough for coming on. The best thing about having you on is telling your story about your journey. And that's what we're trying to really educate and to share the knowledge with the younger generation, because the journey isn't easy by any means. And for you to just, seamlessly kind of just believe in yourself, know that there is an amazing light through all the hardships is what we're trying to really get with the younger generation as well. So I can't thank you enough for coming on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate you guys having me. It's been a blast.
Brother, so happy you came on. So happy we got to catch up. It's been awesome to see what you've been able to do. And I can't wait for the next few years. It's going to be awesome to see.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much for Ian joining the show. And like we said, just the culmination of where he's at right now is well-deserved, but also didn't come easy. And it's another story of obstacles. They're part of the journey, but also believing in yourself and knowing that there's a path for you. I think that that's one of the biggest messages from this as well.
You guys heard it, going from being committed to Division III to being at, one of the best universities in the world. You never know who's watching. And never give up at the same time. And he is the perfect example of that. And so proud of him and everything he's accomplished so far. And I'm so excited to see what he does in Vegas. Go Green.
Ian, best of luck. Thanks for coming on. And it just goes to show, guys, when you get an opportunity, you got to make the most of it. And that's exactly what he did. And now he's hopefully we'll be watching, but he has a chance at a national title, and it's amazing.
We're fortunate, guys, to have amazing sponsors that help us do what we do. Buddy Hockey Club, Best Damn Tape, Quench Hydration, Cut Shield Hockey, and just kidding, there's more to come, but we won't tell you those right now. Right. Boys, another episode in the books. I cannot tell you enough of how fortunate I am to have you guys in my life. We continuously do something that we love, we have fun with, and talk to these amazing people. And as the weeks go on for us, man, it's a whirlwind that we're just trying to enjoy, and we cannot do it without any of you guys that take the time to listen, send us amazing messages, and it's what keeps us going. So we love you. We thank you.
I love doing this, man. I love it. It's the best. We are so excited for the next things we have for you. Stay tuned. We do this all for you guys.
Can't thank you guys enough for all the love and support, and we're just going to continue to buzz.
Peace.